It's Tuesday, the 5th of March 2024. Welcome to the Fast 5 Business News by Fear and Greed, where we give you the top 5 business stories you need to know in just 5 minutes. I'm Michael Thompson, and good morning, Sean Aylmer.
Good morning, Michael.
Sean, 5 stories to get through in 5 minutes. Let's get going because there are 5 big ones today. Story number 1, the ASEAN Leaders Summit kicked off yesterday, and Foreign Minister Penny Wong warned that the Indo-Pacific's character is under threat from coercion and the use of force.
Senator Wong pushed for the creation of new preventative architecture to help resolve tensions between countries in the region. She said the region's character, where no country dominates and no country is dominated, was under challenge. She didn't mention China, but she said there are claims and actions that are inconsistent with the international law, particularly the UN Convention on the Law of the Sea. Senator Wong also announced almost $290 million in funding to boost maritime security and protection in Southeast Asia. The meeting is the largest gathering of political leaders in Australia for 6 years, and Prime Minister Anthony Albanese said the talks would primarily focus on promoting jobs and economic opportunity across Southeast Asia. As part of that, Mr Albanese said Australia stands ready to play a bigger role in Malaysia's pursuit of economic opportunity and growth, announcing the two countries will form new partnerships between their respective universities and vocational institutions, while also increasing their collaboration on managing cyber threats.
Okay, moving on to story number 2, Sean. Goldman Sachs has done a little bit of work, actually a lot of work. I shouldn't understate it here, on Wall Street's Magnificent Seven. This is fascinating.
Yeah, so we're talking about Apple, Microsoft, Nvidia, Alphabet, Amazon, Meta Platforms, and Tesla. They're the stocks that drove Wall Street last year and so far this year. And what Goldman Sachs is saying, one of the world's premier investment banks, is the golden run might be drawing to an end. Investors bought the 7 stocks aggressively in the first 3 quarters of last year and then slowed in the December quarter. Hedge funds, they're kind of people who often lead the market. They were net sellers of the mega caps at the end of last year. Also, investors who take stocks and hold them for a long time, well, they're actually underweight those 7 stocks at the moment. All 7, except Amazon, experienced a decline in exposure at the end of last year. It's not just Goldman Sachs talking about this. Capital Group said it had trimmed holdings in stocks whose outperformance had makings of a gentle bubble. There's a guy called Ray Dalio, a bit of a rock star on Wall Street. He reckons that the Magnificent Seven are definitely looking frothy, but he doesn't think they're in a bubble. Now, Apple's share price is down slightly so far this year. Tesla's off nearly 20%. It's having a shocker. Alphabet is flat, but the other 4 are doing okay. Microsoft is up 12%. Amazon's 18%. Meta's up 41%. And Nvidia is up 65%.
All right, on to story number 3. Australia's vacancy rate, Sean, has reached a new record low of 0.7%, though there are signs that things might get better for tenants with competition for new listings less intense now.
The fall in the vacancy rate to a new low reflects rapid population growth, a sluggish construction sector, and rising property prices. Both Sydney and Melbourne have vacancy rates of 0.8%, according to digital property group Domain, while in Perth and Adelaide it's a miserly 0.3%. The highest vacancy rates last month were in Canberra and Darwin at 1.3%. Domain's Chief of Research and Economics, Dr. Nicola Powell, said the number of prospective tenants per rental listing is easing, suggesting a lessening of competition between renters. It supports the trend of slowing rental growth, suggesting demand is actually pulling back. Could be an early indicator of an increase in vacancy rates sometime this year, which of course would be good news for all those renters out there. Dr. Powell said there are a number of first home incentives across the country, as well as the prospect of help to buy schemes along with lower rates later in the year. They could all come together and alleviate that rental squeeze, Michael.
Story number 4, a Qantas Boeing 737 collided with another Qantas 737 at Perth Airport on Sunday night. This happened on the way to the gate, caused only minor damage though.
It did, but it's something I always think about when I'm sitting in a plane and it's pulling in. Media reports suggest one of the planes was following the wrong track to the gate. The 737 from Canberra was approaching the gate at a speed of about 5 kilometres an hour when its wingtip clipped the wingtip of a stationary 737 at the adjacent gate. Little damage, no injuries, and a Qantas spokesperson said the captain assessed the situation and advised customers to continue to disembark as usual. Now, the Australian Transport Safety Bureau will investigate the incident. It's likely to include looking at the distance between the gates at Perth Airport, the clarity of the track markings, weather conditions at the time, fatigue issues, and the communication between ground crews and pilots.
Last one, story number 5. Sean, this one's actually a little bit scary. The corporate watchdog has shut down nearly 3,500 investment scam websites in just 8 months as the cost of living crisis pushes Australians to consider kind of new ways of finding money.
ASIC Chair Joe Longo said scammers are only too happy to try and take advantage of Australians who are looking for ways to make ends meet. It's part of ASIC's efforts to minimise and prevent consumer harm by targeting market integrity, greenwashing and insurance failures. Mr Longo said in the half year to the end of December last year, ASIC secured almost $60 million in civil penalties and 9 criminal convictions. It launched 83 new investigations, commenced 19 new civil proceedings, criminally charged 19 individuals and completed nearly 350 surveillances.
All right, there we go. The top 5 business stories in 5 minutes. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you, Michael.
It's Tuesday, the 5th of March, 2024. Remember to hit follow on the podcast, and if 5 minutes isn't enough, you can find our longer daily show called Fear and Greed Business News wherever you listen to podcasts. I'm Michael Thompson, and that was the Fast 5 Business News by Fear and Greed. Have a great day.